Hey everybody, welcome back to BobkeTV. Stage number 7 of the Vuelta in the books. Turned out to be a pretty exciting stage. Astana lighting it up in the finale. Luis Leon Sanchez just barely caught, and let's be honest, Sanchez was phenomenal, towing Simon Clark for the final about 15 kilometers and then dropping Simon Clark a couple of 100 meters before the line. All of that was for naught when he was caught by Joshua Van Achten, and so the IAM Pro gets his first Grand Tour stage win in his first Grand Tour. But the big news is Alberto Contador hitting the deck again. Stage 7. It's been a real struggle with the crashes for Contador this year in the Grand Tours, and you know, to think that a guy like Chris Froome, in all the tours he's done, he's only come off a couple of times and did not sustain any significant injuries. The last one everybody saw on the stage won by Romain Bardet in the Tour de France. That was quite spectacular, but he was able to remount and finish off the stage without too much trouble. But for Contador to keep hitting the deck at high speed 3 times in Grand Tours in I think 3 stages, not 3 total, but he got through the first week almost without any crashing trauma, but today that all went south, and I really feel for Contador. And he was well placed coming into the final couple of kilometers. At that point, it would have been prudent to ease up, filter through the back, and let the sprinters do their thing, especially as it was a very technical finale and the teams study them. So Contador would have known, presumably, that there was some dangerous corners before the finish line, and in spite of that, it's time to chill out and don't mix with the sprinters. It's incredibly sketchy. I find it hard to believe that a rider that's been a pro for many years is not aware of how gnarly the sprint finishes are in a Grand Tour. So a momentary lapse of judgment, let's be honest, and Contador was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and maybe half of the time he would have made it through there without any trouble at all. But on this particular instance, and to be honest, if you're 10 guys back during a field sprint in a Grand Tour, the chances of getting caught up behind or in a crash are a lot greater than if you were riding the brakes towards the back of the front group. And with the 3-kilometer rule in effect, you presumably would be given the same time if there was an accident. I've been recommending that the UCI move the 3K safety barrier to also take the GC time on sprint stages 3 kilometers to go. And that way, nobody would feel compelled to try to stay in the front in the final 3 kilometers of a sprint stage. And those are pretty predictable. It wasn't predictable that they were going to catch Luis Leon Sanchez, but it is predictable that there's going to be a mad dash for the line. And it's a melee, and the bodies are flying everywhere. And the GC riders should not feel compelled to try to stay near the front to protect their GC position. And I can understand why Contador was up there, didn't want to lose any more time, not one more second. And so maybe he was pushing a little bit too hard to stay too close to the finish line. Now overnight, hopefully we will get to know the extent of his injuries, and hopefully they're very minor, very superficial. You know, Jan Bakelants a couple of days ago crashed with Stefan Kruijswijk on the same steel stanchion sticking up out of the ground in the middle of the road. And Kruijswijk broke his collarbone and is out of the Vuelta. Bakelants seemed to tumble like a gymnast and was in the break the next day. So let's hope that the extent of Alberto's injuries are similar to Bakelants and not similar to Kruijswijk's. And if that's the case, I think he'll still be competitive Anytime you hit the deck at high speed, though, it takes a few days to recuperate. Tomorrow, a mountaintop finish, very tough climb, and if Contador can finish near the front, it will be remarkable, and in my way of thinking, he will be a very dangerous man in the overall standings still, in spite of that crash. But the bad luck, hopefully that's it for Contador, and the rest of his Vuelta will be smooth sailing. Thanks a lot, everybody. Vuelta's been great, and it's about to get even greater. The next 2 weeks are non-stop action. It's going to be fantastic. Thanks for your subscriptions. Keep them coming. Thumbs up. If you want to buy some t-shirts, you can't buy them at Target. I don't buy my t-shirts at Target either, but it's kind of random where I buy them. But you can buy t-shirts by going to BobkeTV and clicking the link, and follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and comment if you feel like it. Was Contador in the wrong spot? Was Contador in the right spot? Is his bad luck over? Is he going to win the Vuelta? Let me know what you think. Is he going to lose the Vuelta by a few seconds? It's going to be a great next couple of weeks, and thanks everybody for watching BobkeTV and these updates.